This might be the most controversial video I've ever made, but there's things that've got to be said. Alright, so growing up, I grew up in an environment where it was pretty much drug free. You know, no marijuana, no speed, ecstasy, cocaine. Growing up, there was none of that in my family. And for a while, I was not aware of anything like that. I couldn't tell you the difference between, green grass or marijuana. I couldn't tell the difference between cocaine and sugar or cereal. Like I grew up in a good environment, good family, good upbringing, positive people around me. But then when I got to school years, I was like exposed to like cigarettes, and I really didn't like the smell. A lot of the people I was dating smoked cigarettes. I fucking hated it. It was so bad. Um, but drugs have been in society long as I can remember, and I'm totally against drugs. Like, I'm a sort of guy that you know I've done some things. I've never smoked marijuana. Don't want to. Um, I'm straight edge almost. I still have a bit of drink here and there. But these druggies have no lives. They're consistently asking people for money, asking people for lifts, asking people for even just the basic cigarettes. And it's not a good life when they haven't got money to buy their drugs, or even their cigarettes for that matter. They find other means, like girls, especially if they want free drugs, they know how to get it. Doing sexual favors for guys. If a girl wants cigarettes or lifts, she asks guys. Girls do this to guys a lot because they know that if they find their target, then the guy will do anything for them. But the moment the guy stands up for himself or doesn't want to do that, that guy's a bad guy in their book, which is bullshit. How you live your life is one thing, but if you're living your life to destroy your body, kill yourself with drugs, or worst case, end up in jail, why bother even living? If you're gonna just do that all your life, you know, cigarettes themselves are dangerous, but a lot of people do it. It's normal in life. But when you start doing drugs that you know could kill you, or are bad for you, why are you doing it? Why are you blowing your money on juice, marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine, all that? What's the outcome at the end of the day? If you keep smoking crack, your teeth are going to be bad. How many druggies have these really bad teeth, and it's just like you're letting your looks go. You're not only making yourself sick and sending yourself broke, but you're making your looks go. Your face starts aging more. Your teeth start getting black or furry or yellow. And the thing that I've noticed about all these druggies that I've dated over the last couple of years since I've been single, the most common thing is their houses. Their houses are trashed. There's holes in walls. They're trashed. They live like pigsties. Windows boarded up, curtains all black. And it's like, I understand if you want to do drugs is one thing, but cleanliness, like, I've literally been to, I'd say about at least 10 girls' houses that all do drugs. None of them have been clean. And that's like, what the fuck? The moment you start letting yourself go like that, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and go, fuck, if I can see this, other people can see this too. I was dating someone just recently for 3 months, and I didn't see the inside of a house, but I think because the bonus, her living with someone, the house was kept clean. But seeing the way drugs affected her, like the fact that so many times she'd get juiced out, And it frightens me, the fact that when they get juiced out, they're totally schizo. They don't care about anyone. They lash out at anyone, and they don't really care who they hurt. And the fact that the person I was dating gets her drugs for free, and then me realizing, well, I know what she's doing to get them for free, because I know the girl doesn't have money. And I was very uncomfortable knowing that I could never be with someone like that, knowing that I'm dating someone that is with another guy every night, doing drugs with them. And that's how they want to live their life. It's worse when they bring kids involved. The moment you start surrounding your kids involved with the drugs, the marijuana, you're a bad parent. I'm going to say that straight out. Your kids, not at any age, should be around marijuana, should not be around any other drugs. It's, what kind of human being are you to let your kids around that environment? I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. Your kids should never be around a bong while you smoke it. You know, kids should never be around the other drugs. What if one night you're asleep, the kid accidentally finds your stash of drugs? Unfortunately, when you wake up and the fact your kid's gone near your drugs, they're probably going to wake up dead. And that's the scary reality. If you have drugs in your house, the bad ones especially, make sure they're under a lock and key, so no kids can get to them. Because if I was a parent and my kid overdosed on my drugs, I would hate myself for the rest of my life. And it's like how a lot of these druggies encourage underage kids to drink, smoke, do drugs. I don't accept that. Not at any age under the legal age should kids be drinking or smoking or doing drugs. Not at any age, for no reason whatsoever. I'm not a parent, but I know for damn sure that I would never want my kids around that sort of environment. At the end of the day, if you love your kids and you want them to be a part of your life and you care about them, you put down the bong, you put down the crack, you put down all the drugs, and try to build a safe environment for your kids. And the reason why it gets to me is because since I've been single, these are the girls that I've met and hooked up with. And people think, can you not find a decent girl? I don't know. It's starting to be a reality that these people see that I'm nice, see that I don't judge people. They see that, I'm a decent guy. I don't do drugs, I don't smoke. And they think, oh, alright, well, this guy's got a bit of money. If I get him to drive me around, he'll do it. If I get this guy to buy me alcohol or drugs, he'll do it. I made a rule, even when I was dating my fiance, I don't lend money to anyone. I don't give people money. Especially if they ask. If someone asks me for money, or food, or drugs, I don't do it. Or smokes, I don't do it. If they want to do that stuff, they have to buy it on their own money. I don't care if they have to give sexual favors to other people, but I ain't doing it. Like, I put my foot down because where I am in life, I've come a long way. I've earned what I have. And I don't want some druggy little slut coming along and trying to use me. I will not date a druggie. I will not be in a relationship with a druggie. Because I don't want to be in that sort of environment. I said in a vid a while back, dating someone like that, I don't want to wake up to a call the next day saying, oh, your girlfriend's dead or in hospital. Or she was at a guy's place and she OD'd. Number one, what the fuck is she doing at a guy's place? Doing drugs? And why wasn't I there? I mean, a girl would say, but if you trust her, you let her go anywhere you like. Not to a druggie's house knowing that she's got no money to buy her drugs. Obviously, he ain't going to give it to her for free. When I look for a relationship, I look for someone that's pretty much like me. Doesn't do drugs, doesn't smoke, and it's just going to be loyal and faithful. And unfortunately, here where I live, there's no one like that. A lot of most people here, 90% of them are single mothers that do drugs. And the ones that are in relationships, the nerve of some of them, they're in relationships and they're like, oh, can I borrow some money off you? Fuck off. Go ask your partner. Don't ask me. You know? If you are buying alcohol, cigarettes and drugs every week, where do you think your money's going? Maybe instead of buying that stuff, why don't you buy food or things for the house? And there is someone currently in my life which, what they do in their personal life is fine. They got a partner, but I don't want to be involved. I do not want to be involved. While their partner's around and, you know, they're doing the drugs and stuff, I don't want to know the person. I mean, I like her and care about her as a friend. But there's a few friends like that that are in relationships where they know it's not going to go anywhere. Most of these druggies, they wait for their paychecks so they can go blow it on the pokies or buy it on drugs. It's always the pokies and drugs and cigarettes and alcohol. And it's disturbing. It's just like, you know what the pokies are. You know that if you're lucky, you might win. But in 9 out of 10 times, you're going to end up feeding that machine and making these hotels a lot more richer. But to anyone out there that knows me, for starters, I ain't going to lend you money for shit. Right? If I want to give you money, I will give you money. But I ain't. And if I do give you money, I do expect to get it back. But don't ask me. Because I know what that money's for. Drugs, alcohol, marijuana. Nah. If you're buying food, nah. You have to understand that in life, if you are that poor, you can't put food on the table, then you must be drinking too much, smoking marijuana too much, or doing drugs too much. If you take them out of your life, you'll be so much happier. You won't be paranoid. You won't be schizo. Now, it's different with medical marijuana. You know, some people need it to calm down. Some people need it to, you know, for muscle joints. I understand medical marijuana. But when you're just doing it to get fucked up every night and be like a 420 crew, come on. There's more to life than getting fucked up. And especially if you've got kids. Don't you want to have your kids grow up in an environment where there's no drugs? No marijuana smell around the house? I mean, fuck. I have a family member living with us at the moment. Not for too long. And every time he comes in, you can smell his clothes. You're like, oh fuck, that stinks of cigarette. It's not cool. You know? And some of these girls that are friends with me, like, I do have some friends I really care about. But drugs are just affecting their lives and affecting, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the way most of these girls keep going, they're going to end up overdosing, they're going to end up in jail. Because I tell you what, there are a lot of undercover cops out there, and if you get done, and especially if you're in an area that you know that every third house is a drug house, don't be surprised one day the cops come knocking on your door and be like, we want to search your house. And people say, oh, I only do marijuana. I don't do the other stuff. The way your actions are, the way you behave says differently. I'm sorry, but if you were just doing dope, you'd be very mellow, very calm and relaxed. But when you're schizo and psychotic and you lose your shit and you think that everyone's against you and hates you and they lie to you, then you've got to understand that people like me are going to be like, you're not just on, you know, marijuana. Now, I know I'm going to get heat for this vid because a lot of my Facebook friends do drugs, and they're going to be like, this vid's about me. No, it's not about anyone particular. It's about just in general. I can't understand why you would want to ruin your looks, because I'm sorry ladies, but the more crack you do and the more drugs you do, you will age bad, you will fucking lose your teeth, you will have rotten teeth, you will have bad teeth. And the one thing that guys do not like in any girl is if they open up their mouth and they see no teeth, black teeth, bad teeth, they don't want to be with a girl like that. The first thing that all guys like is a girl with a beautiful smile. And if you don't have a beautiful smile, but then you may say, oh, but I don't do drugs, I just have bad teeth. No. Because if you can't brush your teeth and you can't fucking, when you go out, at least look like a normal human being. Because I know a few people that I've dated over the years where, you know, they're supposed to be young, but the drugs have made them age so bad. Like, I met up with someone recently and I'm like, she doesn't even look her age. You know, one of my exes, when I was younger, her face was so bad from the drugs. Like, she was, how old was she? I think she was low 20s. She looked like she was 50. That's what drugs do. And no matter how much makeup, no matter how much she changed her looks and stuff, she could never look beautiful. And you may think, well, that sounds really harsh. No, I'm dead serious, because of the drugs. I've seen a lot of what drugs do to the face and the teeth, but the face especially, like, no one wants to grow old gracefully. But when you're young and you look like you're 50, 60 years old from all the drugs, that's bad. And sometimes makeup doesn't fix it. You know, haircut doesn't fix it. I'm just saying to all the women that do drugs out there, if you don't want to look like an old bag, you don't want to look like a druggy whore, then stop the drugs now. Because I tell you, once your looks start going, no one will want you. If you want a better life, if marijuana's a thing, okay, just stick to marijuana. Don't do the other stuff. But if you're a girl and you can't open your mouth and smile properly, you've got to be ashamed of yourself. Missing teeth and black teeth are one thing, but if you can't even brush your teeth and there's fur on it, I've met a few girls like that and I've been like, I'm just saying, because look at me. All my teeth, except for that one, that's a fake one because I knocked it out at footy practice. But girls are very sensitive about their looks especially. And you're not helping your situation by, you know, doing crack and fucking other drugs and juicing yourself out. I'm not saying this to rubbish anyone on my Facebook that know me. I'm just saying I care about you enough to say, please stop what you're doing. Because I don't want to lose you as a friend to drugs. No fucking way. I'm saying this to anyone that knows me. If you're a friend of mine that does do drugs, is messed up, please sort your shit out. I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart because I've seen what happens. I've seen a lot of shit in my time. Don't do it. And if you got kids, even another reason. Because once you fall into that hole, it's very hard to get out of. Think about what it's doing to your personal life. Every time you buy a 6-pack or a 12-pack of, you know, Jim Beam and Cola or Black Douglas or fucking Smirnoff or what are the popular drinks right now? There's Jack Daniel cans. Any time that's costing you like 40, 50 bucks, think about where that 40, 50 bucks could have gone. To food would be the first thing. And then, you know, with your alcohol, you want to have a couple of smokes. Like you want to go buy a packet of smokes. There's another 30 bucks. There's 70 bucks to 80 bucks gone already, just in alcohol and smokes. Then you want to buy your weed a bit. All three of those have all added up to about over $100 already. You've just spent $100 on alcohol, smokes, and drugs. And you wonder where your money's going. When you think, and that's just minimum, by the way. And then you complain that you got no food or no way of paying bills. You've just spent all that money. See my point? You lose so much money so quickly. I mean, I'm not saying, go without smokes, go without drinking, go without drugs. But then, if you can't go without those things and you always don't have any money, don't you dare have the nerve to ask me or others to give you money. No fucking way. Go a week without one of them if you have to. You know what I mean? Like, these druggies, all they seem to do is they're like, oh, I've got no money now. I'm going to try find the nearest guy that I know's got money and I'll make him buy my alcohol, my food, my drugs and all that. And it's like, nope. And you guys are suckers that do it. If you guys, and this goes for females too, if anyone asks you for money and you have even a remote idea you think it might be going to drugs or alcohol, cigarettes, you're a fucking idiot to give it to them. People do it. Like, people do it all the time, and it's just like, what? You're feeding their habits. I know there's going to be dislikes on this on YouTube. There's going to be angry outbursts on Facebook about this, but it's true. I'm just saying, if you don't want to live your life to the point you don't know if you're going to live or die, you don't know if you're going to see your kids grow up, then do something about it before it's too late. Every life is important. Everyone's life is important. And I don't want to say goodbye to my friends knowing that they could have changed this kind of lifestyle. It's like, when one of your friends is in an abusive relationship and you worry one day that guy's going to go too far. Or when you see your friend's upset and hurt and all they do is post depressive shit. But then one day you realise that they're not posting that depressive shit because they're dead. Like, I have someone on my Facebook, I've only met her once, but every day, suicidal stuff, depressive stuff, and it's like, if you're going to put that shit on your Facebook, people are going to worry about you. And then you block them on messages because you don't want to hear from them. Well, then don't post that shit on your Facebook. If you don't want people asking how you're doing, don't post depressive shit on Facebook that you want to kill yourself or you've got, the signs of this or something. No, it's just... I mean, if you're in an open relationship with someone and that person knows that you're going through all that, that person should be fucking trying to help you. And if they're not, well, then what was the fucking point? Obviously, they just want you for a route, So, I'm well aware of what I said in this video. I'm not taking it back. I don't regret it. I know the heat that's going to come of this, but it's about time you guys straighten up yourselves. Seriously, stop asking for people for money. Stop asking for people to help you here, help you there. I love the saying is, oh, if you give me this, I'll pay you back, da 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 da. And they never do. 9 out of 10 people don't pay back. I've even got one person on Facebook that hasn't even paid me back for something a month ago. These druggies just have no respect for themselves. They have no respect for anyone that matter. And that's why it's just like, one day, I can't wait for it to be so hard to get drugs that it'll be almost impossible for people to get the drugs. I hope every police raids every single bad area with these drugs and take away all the drugs around this state. Because then people start realising, fuck. And it'll get harder and harder, and yeah. And I'll be happy when that day comes. Because then you guys have got to start living life in the reality of life. I don't need drugs to fuck with my head. I have plenty of women that do that as it is currently, including my ex-fiance. They just can't seem to make peace or have closure to something that should have been closed 3 years ago. Then there's people on my Facebook that live here that say they're my friends, but they never make any effort to catch up with me. How can you call someone a friend when you're not even there for them? So thank you for watching this vid. You'll see the 4 vids pop up on your screen now about random subjects. But yeah, if you want a better life, get away from the environment you're in and start surrounding yourself with positive people. Every life matters.